Hi everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to our team call, first one of the year. It's going to be a great 2019.
Yes, it is.
I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and a lovely New Year, and getting now back into it. We've got some great stuff that we're going to chat about tonight and discuss with you. The calendar for the year is looking amazing. So we'll go right into it. So this is being recorded, so you can catch up on it for all your team that haven't been able to make it. Okay, so let me just share it.
Beautiful slide.
Okay. There's been an update to the cologne list. For those of you that don't know what the cologne list, this is a list that's done in Germany, Dusseldorf, for to approve products for athletes, okay, and for health products for athletes, but also for drug testing, okay. So any products that get approved by the cologne list don't have any banned substances in it, so athletes can trust it. So it's a big deal to get on the cologne list. Okay, so a couple more products like the Lifelong Vitality Pack, all of them have been put on there. The Mitre 2 Max, the Serenity Soft Gels have been added to it as well. So, and they're continually adding products to it throughout this year. So it's really, really good, exciting.
That's very exciting. Lifelong Vitality especially. I'm very excited about that.
Now, you might want to write these dates down. We're just going to go over the main doTERRA events of the year. Some of them may apply to you, some of them may not apply. So don't worry about that, but we're just letting you know all of them that are out there so that everyone can be aware of what's going on, where you can find your inspiration and events. But the main ones, which we recommend for everybody building the business, no matter how big or small you are, and at what stage you're in, and where you think you are, even if you think that you're diamond and you think, oh, I've completed, I've done very well, I don't need to go to doTERRA events now. That never happens, because you'll be going there with your team. It becomes more important to bring your team and to help them along to these events. So doTERRA convention is in Dusseldorf this year. If you have not booked your ticket, go along to the Eventbrite link. I'll post some of these things onto Facebook just to remind us. It's on the 17th and 18th of May this year. Okay, so it's a 2-day event and it's going to be brilliant. The gala is on the 17th of May. It's in the evening after the Friday part of convention, and it's always great. It's a 3-course meal and a celebration of diamonds and above, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So it's really fun to go there. Even if you're not diamond, it's great to have all of your team there celebrating the leaders becoming diamond, so that when you go and become diamond, it's nice to have your team celebrating you as well. It's a very inspirational event. There's also a Leaders Day on the 15th, run by the leaders. Okay, so this is an official doTERRA event. This is done by the leaders, and so is the Builders Day on the 16th. But it's very, very worthwhile coming along to that. So last year we had, I think we had 1,000 at the Builders Day, didn't we?
Yeah.
And about 500 at the Leaders Day, so 300 at the Leaders Day.
It was really good. There's a really good energy in the room. Yeah, definitely go. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. Okay, and they're not massively expensive. They're just to cover costs. So check those out. Now there's lots of spring tours coming up. So the spring tour, if you don't know what a tour is, doTERRA on tour. Rebecca, what's a tour?
A tour, Nathan, is when you have leaders and usually someone from corporate taking information, the current information, the new information. So the post-convention tours obviously cover a lot of the new products that come from convention. and all the news that came from that. So to give people an opportunity who hadn't gone to convention, especially, to get a feel for that. Spring tours will have not that kind of information, have lots of new information, given more information about products, usually some business training as well. There'll be someone teaching an intro class there, so an opportunity to go and watch somebody different teaching an intro class, but learning more about the products as well, that you don't really get to learn very much about. So other products that aren't in the home essentials kit, for example, different products, but really showing you how you can use them to build your LRP more than just your initial classes. So they're so valuable. You learn lots how to use the products yourselves, but how to then inspire your customers. They're brilliant.
It's a great place to send customers to as well. It's very informal. It's about doTERRA. It's not about building the business. And so you can send customers to that. The last tour events, they were about the emotion kits, and they went into a bit more detail about that, etc. And you could buy like a special emotion kit deal that was going on. So in the spring tours, which is coming up, you see the dates there, 10th to April. From February to April, you've got different dates in the UK. There are lots of dates. So if you're not in the UK, we've got lots of team that are around the world, but mainly in Europe. There are other dates, spring tour dates, all over Europe. So if you go on to doterraeveryday.eu, you'll find those dates on there, doTERRA on tour. Okay. The London date, book your tickets quick. It's getting sold out. So 200 tickets have sold already.
And that's because it's the first one in London for quite a while, because they stopped doing them in London because of the costs of transport and things, but they've realised they need to do one in London.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's being confirmed.
So
it's being filled up so quickly.
And then you've got the summer tours, which will be coming out. So the dates aren't done for them yet, but they'll be out. And then you've got the post-convention tours. That's post-US convention tours, okay? Because the new products come out at the US convention, and that's when they tend to talk about the new products, etc. at the post-convention tours. And you're able to get the convention kit at those tours, okay? And only if you attend those tours. So that's fun. Most of you won't want to do this, but some of you may want to. So we're just letting you know what's out there in the US, because it's a wonderful opportunity to go to that. doTERRA convention, the 12th to the 14th of September, is open to anybody that wants to.
And in fact, we had some leaders come for the first time this year, quite high up leaders, and they said, oh my goodness, I can't believe I've never come. I'm going to get all my team, as much of my team, to come to this. Because, European conventions, it's great. We need to go to those definitely, and they're brilliant. And we have all the information for Europe at them, so they're great to go to. But there's something very different about the US convention. So I do recommend maybe just putting some money aside every month and putting yourself there, because seeing those executives all in the same room, seeing them present one after the other, and all the other great speakers you get there, we're never probably going to get that in Europe. So I do recommend going at least once. It is such a fire for your business. It really is.
If you can attend once, it would be brilliant to go and just get really inspired. So that's probably the most inspiring event that doTERRA do.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got the leadership, which is about the business, and that's a very, very inspiring event as well. Rebecca loves convention. I actually slightly preferred leadership. For me, it was more my kind of thing, but it was brilliant. Okay, and they do that in Atlanta, and they do that in San Diego. Okay, now, and that's where all the executives are there as well. Now, doTERRA had started last year their own leadership event, and that was terrific. So we do have it in Europe, but we're just letting you know everything that's available. But you have to be silver and above to be able to attend any leadership events. Okay. In Europe at the moment, it's Premier and above. The European incentive trip has been announced that it will be in June of this year, 17th to the 20th of June. The details exactly of how to win it and where we're going hasn't been announced yet. It will be announced shortly. We've been told January, and we're in January, so hopefully it's very soon. But it's a great trip every year, and you get 3 nights accommodation, breakfast, a celebration dinner, an exclusive sourcing trip somewhere in the world, and you get to hang out with lots of leaders, lots of your peers. It's brilliant, very inspirational. Okay. And just a reminder that Diamond Club's going on. So if you've got upline or teammates doing Diamond Club, help them out. They're going to be going like crazy for January to April, trying to rank and to get all their enrollments in. So look out for those doing Diamond Club, and then prepare yourself for next year when a lot of you will want to be doing Diamond Club yourself. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to be running different things. So we're going to be running team calls.
Once a month.
They're going to be once a month. They're generally going to be the very first of the month, first Monday of the month, unless something else falls there, but we'll let you know on Facebook about that. But we're also running Elite, Silver and Gold clubs will be running in March and April, okay, to help people that would like to achieve the rank of Elite, Premier, Silver or Gold by the end of April, okay. And there are 3 different clubs, so people that are going for Elite, people that are going for Silver, and people that are going for Gold, okay. We'll give you more details to follow, but just be aware that in March and April and in the middle of February sometime, we'll do a call just getting people started so they can prepare themselves for those clubs in March and April. It's not onerous. It's literally a support group. There's a Facebook support group with each one of them, and it's a once a week mentor, kind of a mentor call or a chat to help be one. We've done it. We did it in, when did we do it? Very recently.
October, November, December.
Yeah, it was October, November. No, it was
November, December.
Yeah, and it went very well.
Mm.
And the highlight of it was that some of the peers all speaking to each other and becoming friends and helping each other support each other. So please take part in those groups if you would like to. Product of the month.
The product of the month that I would like to talk about is this anti-aging eye cream. So men might not be as interested in this as the women, but it's a lovely gift for women as well.
It's not the product of the month for the month. This is just our chosen product of the month.
Our chosen product of the month.
Not
because I hadn't used it, and my sister-in-law, Megan, came over at Christmas, and she had it, and I used it and fell in love with it. It's an amazing cream. It's got a steel kind of roller ball at the end, so it basically helps reduce puffiness under the eyes, and just from the cooling effect of the steel roller ball, it helps to do that. But it contains frankincense, ylang ylang, blue tansy, so they're the essential oils in it, but also other plant-based products that really help with the anti-aging. So they help to reduce wrinkles. They help to reduce puffiness, as I said, and also reduce pore sizes. So it's really soft and gentle to just roll under the eye. And also it helps to prevent the aging process as well. So it helps to kind of slow down the aging on your face. So it's a very effective product, but also just so lovely to put on. You literally just roll it on underneath your eyes, and it's just lovely, like the cooling, and it's like you're giving yourself a nice little eye massage. And because your skin is so delicate under the eyes, you don't need to worry about that at all, like irritating, because of the coolness of the applicator.
Does it help with bags?
Yeah, puffiness. Yeah, yes, it does. It helps reduce bags and puffiness. So that is why we have chosen to speak about that this month. So if you haven't got it, I've just put it on my order for this month. Get it. It's under the Essential Skincare range in your back office. But a good one to use, and then let your customers know about it. It's such a good one for LRP because, women, we're always looking for lovely skin products, and it is lovely. I have it, it's a really, you can tell me you're using it. It's a high quality, high end product. If anyone's used it, then please write some comments. I'm sure you're loving it because, it's just so lovely. Does anyone have an essential oil experience that they would like to share just quickly before we get into the business side of it? Anyone had anything that happened over Christmas they can just share in like 1 minute with us?
I have one.
Thank you, Jerry. Is it Jerry?
Yeah, I have a friend and she has neuropathy.
Okay.
And I made her a roller ball with several different oils in it. And she said it's really working for her, and she's asked for a second one. She's gone through the first one. And then she told me the other day that she had arthritis in her hand, and she put the roller ball on her hand, and the arthritis went away.
Wow. Do you mind telling us what you put in your roller ball?
Oh my goodness. If you give me a second, it's in the other room.
Okay, lovely. Cool. Okay. I'll introduce the next part and then we'll come back to you.
Just before that, I just want to talk about the reactivation offer.
Great, do it there now then, perfect.
So yes, we've got the reactivation offer this month for people that haven't ordered for the last 3 months. Don't forget, it's a great way of getting people to order, getting them onto LRP. It's brilliant. So remember that offer. Okay. Just wanted to remind you.
January is a great time of year to do that because people are looking towards health this time of year, aren't they? They want to get healthy again. Are you back?
Rebecca, I have it on my computer, but I can't minimize this.
Okay. Well, maybe join the, you can type it into the chat perhaps, Joey. If you press escape, that's what I do, and then you can minimize it, so it's not a full screen.
Okay, now I can get it. Hold on 1 second.
Cool. Thanks, Joey. So I'll just introduce the next part, Joey, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
That's all right. So tonight we thought it would be lovely because we're being January, it's looking forwards, not looking backwards. So you can learn from the things that you've done so far. If you've just joined the business, then that's a great place to be. We're going to have some leaders coming on tonight to share some of the ways they've built the business. And also, you know, talking about how you really don't have to be anywhere near perfect. And everyone that's been successful in doTERRA has not been great at every activity in doTERRA. And we all have different styles, we all have different weaknesses, but being successful, you know, we kind of learn and are learning to focus more on the strengths and the things that excite us. So I've asked for some, you know, strong leaders in our team to come on and share their viewpoints on this. So, you know, do take some notes and really listen to what rings true to you and what you connect to. Because I really want you all to believe that you can do this. You know, doTERRA, we have such an incredible product. There's nothing we can knock about the product that doTERRA has. And then if you study the compensation plan and really understand it, we can't knock that either. It's there for the taking. We can all be successful. So the only thing that's stopping us is ourselves. So I really want you to see that you don't have to fit into this box. There isn't a box. We talk about the culture of doTERRA and respecting the culture, and that's very important. But other than that, you really can do this in your own creative way. So we're going to be sharing some tips on that. So Joey, do you have the oils for us?
Yes, I do.
Amazing.
Okay, you use 10 to 12 drops of peppermint, eucalyptus, frankincense, rosemary, lavender, and geranium.
Lovely. 10 drops of each, 10 to 12 drops.
And then you just add the fractionated coconut oil with it.
1 to 1.
So that's what I used. I got it from the internet, but I also asked on your page on Silver Blossom, and someone mentioned geranium, which was not on the internet. And so I just added that one to it.
Silver Blossom is better than the internet.
Yeah. That's wonderful though, because that's a really tough one, neuropathy. So that's really lovely to hear there's some you've had some success with that.
Just a quick question for you, Jerry.
Sure.
Sounds like you're from America.
Yes, Arizona.
How did you find us?
Colin.
Sorry?
Colin Reed.
Colin Reed.
And he's under his team.
Steve Gilbert.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Cool. Well, lovely. Thanks so much for sharing.
Welcome to our team, Jerry.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much, Jerry. So the challenge is tonight, as you're listening to, is to write down ways that you can move your business forward. So write down things that resonate with you. And it's time to leave limitations behind. So really, as you move forward this year, really be aware of what thoughts you're having, because every thought you're having is creating, your immediate future, but also your further away future. So I've been really conscious of that and literally catching every thought. And it's amazing how many kind of negative thoughts you might catch, or thoughts that are doubting yourself, or fearful thoughts, and just catch them and challenge them. and just really try and focus on thinking more positive thoughts going forwards, and you'll find that will have a big difference on your business.
We do hear, one of the reasons why we thought we'd do this is because we do hear quite a lot is that people say, oh, I'm not good at this side of the business, I'm not like this leader, I can't do this. And to be honest with you, everybody is completely different. All the leaders we know are all very different. They all have, they all build it very differently, you know, or not necessarily very differently, but some people build it very differently. A lot of people,
successfully.
Yeah, but a lot of people do it on a similar vein, but slightly differently. Everyone has their own tweaks. They might use the natural solutions class. They might not. They might do it online, or they might use the class that we've been using for a long time, and that they might still use that because that's what they want to build it, and that's absolutely fine. Or they might do make and take classes, or whatever it is. What we do recommend is that you try the things that where you know people have tried and tested them, and so you can know that it's, you know, this is a tried and tested method. But if you want to do something else, then know that that's fine as well. It may not work, and know that actually that it's a risk. It's not tried and tested, but it works well. Different personalities work with different things, and so that's what we're really trying to get from today, isn't it? Really, just what is going to resonate and what you can pick up for your personality and what you like, how you like to do it.
Absolutely. So we'll just share just really quickly our style, and then Vanessa, I'm going to hand over to Vanessa to share a little bit of her, what she does and her strengths and how she avoids her weaknesses stopping her and things like that.
Vanessa's diamond, and we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah. So my style is more to blag it. I've always been a bit of a blagger, to be honest, and it's worked quite well for me. So when I came into doTERRA, I'm not the kind of person that needs to know all the detail. So I'll throw myself into stuff. Now, sometimes that can be a weakness, sometimes that can be a strength. So out of trial and error, I kind of learn what works for me. Except for the science side, you research that kind of thing. Yeah, the science stuff. So then you survive the things that really excite me, the things that get me, my heart pumping and me wanting to carry on this business is educating myself. So if I'm feeling a bit of a lull, or just not feeling very inspirational, and as I'm sharing with people, I'm feeling a bit flat, if I sense that from myself, then I know I'm not attracting people, really. Then I go and educate myself. So that's how I get out of that, is I go and get inspired by educating myself. And what I found that I love, the part of doTERRA that I absolutely love, and so I've learned to do lots of, is classes. So for me, the style of teaching face-to-face, personal classes, one-on-ones, I'm not as good at, I've discovered. I'm not, and lots of people love one-on-ones, and I'm like, I much prefer the buzz of the class, and I find my success rate is much better in a class than in the one-on-one situation. It also works for us because it means that you can hit more people in a quicker amount of time for a class, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so time was a thing for us, so that was definitely something that we had to kind of maximize. The thing that I found that really drains me and sucks my energy and therefore then kills my inspiration is online stuff. So for me, Facebook, having my weaknesses I've discovered in doTERRA are like, once people are signed up, I'm great at all that part, but with the follow-up, that's, keeping the customers and contacting them, that's something I've had to learn and grow into. So I wasn't naturally good at that at the beginning. That's not my natural forte. I love the relationship building. I love that. But once people have become members, that's what I wasn't great at. So we've had to kind of grow into that. So that's not, you don't have to be perfect at everything. Kind of do the things that you, find out the things that you do well and do them a lot. And that's what gives you the energy to keep going in the business. And there's key activities that you obviously have to kind of master to some extent. Like for me, the follow-up, my customer care, I had to find a way that worked for me, but it wasn't something I was going to beat myself up on and spend tons of energy over, because that would drain me, and then I wouldn't be putting my energy into the thing that I was excellent at and getting people on board. And that way I would find builders that would perhaps fill the gaps that I didn't have. then they were great at, I've got builders that are great at the customer care, way better than me. So that's how our business has grown, I'd say, because then you attract people that fit in your weak spots. That's just a couple of things that I wanted to share. Is there anything you want to share that you find?
Well, I would say I don't know if I'm particularly good at any of it.
Yes, you are.
Well, I say I'm
mentoring.
Yeah, I think like I like to do mentoring, and
You're brilliant at it.
I like to do the relationship side. I think I can be better at it, is what I more mean. And I don't think I'm perfect at anything. Just very, I'd say quite consistent. Like do the stuff is what we're quite good at. And even though it's maybe not the best, or maybe doesn't look as fancy, but we do those things.
We definitely are very consistent. So if you don't feel like you're brilliant at anything, be consistent. Keep going.
I don't feel like I'm brilliant at anything, but I do feel like we do good or okay at most things. That makes sense. That's what I think is good at, is the consistency. Weaknesses. Can be scared of the products a bit sometimes, not having as much knowledge. I suppose that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Work on that this year. This is getting a bit deep, isn't it? So
I think we'll move on to Vanessa. Before we do, I do want to say that Nathan is great at mentoring. That's I've certainly noticed when he's come onto the business. We both do like the nurturing part. So once you get your builders, I think we're both good at showing love and making our builders feel they can do it. So that's something that we found that we're good at. So once we find builders, we can help them feel like that they can do it, and that's, I think, an important thing.
The belief.
You don't need to be you don't need to be. So what Nathan's saying, he doesn't feel like we don't feel like we're the best, and we don't always have the answers at all. But what we do is we show up for our builders, and Nathan especially, he'll always answer the phone, even if he doesn't have the answers. So don't feel like you have to have all the answers and be overwhelmed that you've got builders now that you have to train and suddenly you need to be this amazing leader. Again, you don't. You just take every day as it comes, and as long as you're genuine and trying your best and showing love to the people that you're bringing on, I think is really important, and supporting them as much as you can, then they'll feel that. So
another strength for both of us, I think, is belief. Like, we know that it works.
Yeah.
We believe strongly in it. And so when we're talking to our builders and our customers and sharers, whoever it is, we know this works, and we've seen it, and our belief is so strong, it covers a lot of other weaknesses that we have, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, Vanessa, I've asked Vanessa, so she's a diamond, as Nathan said. She's been a diamond for a while now, so she's a good, solid diamond. A great lead on our team, such amazing knowledge, just passed her nutritional exam as well. I have to get that in there, her nutrition course. So well done, Vanessa. Naturopathic nutritionist. Welcome to the call. Can you unmute yourself and share some of your things?
Maybe we should.
Someone's drawing a new screen.
I'll stop sharing.
I'm going to stop sharing. There you are.
Hey, Vanessa.
I think you've underplayed yourself a little bit, you two, because we know how awesome you two are.
That's nice to do. We weren't looking for that, but
and everybody else here knows how awesome you two are. So, what do you want to let me share? A little bit about strengths and weaknesses getting to diamond, right?
Exactly. How your style, what excites you as well? So what you've learned to focus on, and kind of
the bits that maybe you're different to us as well, like which are.
So it's I just say it's always evolving as well, isn't it? It's the biggest self-development journey when you start doTERRA. You learn a lot about yourself and a lot about your strengths and weaknesses. And I think the biggest learning curve for me was, although you want to get the foundation completely clear, and I think that's pretty much delivered to us through Empowered Success, which is pretty amazing. But we have some pretty awesome training from the UK and the leaders. You want to get the foundation right, is play to your strengths, learn what you're really good at, because you can try and copycat and emulate other leaders, but actually you quickly learn which are the bits that fill you up, give you joy, you thrive on, you're good at. And when you're in that space, everything just happens beautifully. So for me, I love teaching classes. I love sampling people. I love helping people. I know these oils, to me, it's all about the product. I know these oils work. They're just an amazing gift to be able to empower families in natural health. And I just love sharing it. And that gives me joy, is literally just teaching classes. I love doing that. So probably the biggest challenge for me was, as my team grew, I had to then try and help support my team, but also then I kind of felt like I veered away quite a lot from doing what I really loved, which was teaching classes. So that kind of became a really challenging point for me, because I wasn't doing the bit that I really loved to do. And I was like, well, I'm being a leader now I should be helping other people. But actually what I learned was going back to the core of it. So I know some leaders just beautifully go into that leadership role and just end up loving training and helping people. But for me, I had to get the balance of both. So although I help my team and I guide them, and I love my team, and I love getting them into this place of teaching more people and training more people. Sorry, I think my screen is just doing something. So wait a second. Sorry. I had to go back to the core of what I love doing, which was teaching the classes. So it's finding that balance that's completely compatible with you. So I made it. Go on.
I was saying it's also much harder for you as well, because you're a single mum.
Yeah.
Your time constraints are probably some of the highest on our team. You've got so much going on. You're doing your nutritional course, and how much that took as well of this last year, juggling all of that.
It was definitely about processes and organization, which I just had to get really good at. So I suppose the point you can take away from that is I am a single mom, and I also did a 3-year nutrition course at the same time. So if that can tell you, if I can do it with all of that going on, anybody can. So your lives can be super crazy, insanely busy, but you can still do it. And interestingly, I think for me, which I always say to Rebecca, is how interesting this was, is that I always rank advanced in the month when I had my exam, because I think I just got really clear about, right, I've only got a short amount of time. I'm going to have to make that time really, really effective and really count. So just getting really clear on, what are the core objectives? What are the things that really are going to escalate your business? Make every hour count. Like things like, TV just went out the window, things that, they've been for a long time, but, things that just weren't necessarily important. There was a way bigger picture for me. So, just get clear what your goals are. And if your belief is strong enough, it will override, any of those challenges.
Amazing. And that's also if you're doing something you really enjoy, so you're focusing on the things that are inspiring and energizing you, then it doesn't feel like a burden. Whereas if you're going down the road of doing things that you think you should do, but you're not actually getting energized, then that's when it becomes a big heavy thing that's hard to slot in.
Yeah, and you realize that things flow and things happen when you're doing what you love to do. So it's all very well, battling through, and don't get me wrong, there is a lot of work involved in building this business. But if you push yourself to a point where you are like mentally exhausted and you're not enjoying it, then that's no good to anybody. And that's what I realized, is you have to go back to the core values of why you're doing it, what you love to do, and then when you do that, it happens.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's great.
Good luck, everyone.
That's lovely comments. So I'm now going to ask Pizzeria. So Pizzeria is one of the fastest diamonds in Europe, if not the fastest. Definitely the fastest in the UK. That's right, huh?
No, it's the fastest ever.
Yeah.
So
it's extremely fast.
8 months of diamonds. That's what we're claiming.
And so we've asked Peter to come on and share some of the ways he builds a business, because in some ways they're similar to us, and in some ways they're very different to us. But I get inspired listening to Peter, and so I was really happy that he could come on and share some of the ways that he's done that. So, Peter, hello.
Peter.
Hi, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Nathan. Hi, everyone.
Love the background, Peter.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
You got your back, you got to put your
I was trying to work out how I could get it so that you could see that bit as well, you know, but I just couldn't get it. I tried putting the computer on different boxes. I tried sitting lower. Anyway, it is what it is.
I didn't realise what it was for. Is that what it's for?
Do you know, when we got this and we opened it, we were just blown away. And when we got the coasters and things, and I was being so busy, I didn't even see the message in the group about, like, you know, don't say what you've received as a gift.
Yeah.
And I was straight in the group, and then I got loads of people saying, take it down. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So, you know, yeah, but it's our first time receiving a Christmas present from doTERRA, and we just thought, wow, what a wonderful, wonderful touch.
Just so everyone knows, when you're diamond business, well, this year anyway, doTERRA gave a present, and that was a present. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thanks for inviting me on, and I've got loads of stuff, and it's not possible to do it in 5 minutes. So I hope you're all right for me to take about an hour. So if you just set your clock, that would be much appreciated. But I promise you'll get loads of value, and it will only be about 5 minutes. But here, look. It's about being authentic to yourself. It's been said, okay, you can only be really, you know, true to yourself, and you've got to play to your strengths, and it's about what you want. And when I take a look at our set of circumstances, I spent 18 years with the wrong company. So I have been involved with another network marketing company, and the company went into administration. We've done really well with this other organization, and it disappeared. Okay, so I'm 55 years young, okay, and, you know, for me, I'm in a hurry. So I wouldn't expect anyone to duplicate me to the degree that I do. I'm probably one of the most driven people that you'll probably ever be likely to meet, okay. I'm so focused. My attitude is literally, you will either find me at the top or you will get me dead on the side. And there's just no way in between. And that's just me. But I think what we can take from that is the attitude that I will do whatever it takes to get whatever it is that you find that's important to you and your family. And I don't believe that it takes a special person. I really don't believe that. I just believe it takes a special effort. Okay? And your effort is going to be proportionate to the strength of your reason why. And my reason why is huge. It absolutely is. And we have so many reasons why, you know, we are prepared to be as dedicated and as committed and work as hard. But one of the things that I never, ever, ever, ever do is set goals. And before Nathan and Rebecca panic, that's because I actually set promises. And I think that's more powerful. Okay, so I make promises to myself. Okay, I make promises to my family. I put it out there. I'm very clear about it. Like, you know, there's no surprise. I've set a goal for myself to go blue diamond by August, and it's a huge goal. You know, but it's a promise. It is what it is. And we know by November 2020 that we want to be presidential diamond, and we know exactly what the structure is required. We know exactly where our business needs to be. And it's mapped out with military precision. I can look at our business and I know exactly what needs to be done, where and by when. Okay, so I look upon it as a military operation. I really, really do. Okay, so, but because we wanted to build a business really, really quickly, one of the things that worried me when I stepped into doTERRA and nearly had me quit, literally, like in the first few weeks, was I didn't want to do face-to-face classes. Okay, now, I love talking. I love to be at meetings. You know, you put me on a stage, you got to drag me off. You really have. You got to drag me off. But I didn't want to do the face-to-face classes because for me, personally, being in a hurry, being 55, you know, I'd made lots of sacrifices with the previous company where I'd actually pushed my children away because I was so determined to build a business, and I wasn't prepared to make those same type of sacrifices. So for me, it was about getting the job done really, really quickly. And for me, the only way that that would facilitate would be to build a business using technology online. So we looked at Nathan and Rebecca, and we looked at all the wonderful elements that made you guys special, that helped to create the success. And I sat with, you know, some of our other leaders who came with us in the business, like Neil Young and Andy Boswell, and we looked at how we could replicate those key elements, but put them into an online business model. So we created this online business model, which has been lots of twists, lots of turns, lots of trial, lots of errors, you know, and it's taken time to get it to where we've been able to perfect it, and it's still got a long way to go, but we have something now that's workable. So what we thought was, how can we speed up the business? How can we do it faster? And we realized that we needed to find people that were perfectly aligned with what it was that we were offering. So we decided that we would go to studying internet marketing. We would look at how we could use one of the most successful business platforms, which is actually Facebook, but the business side, and how we could develop targeted audience advertising, where we could have a typical advert that would attract someone to us, but how it would only be seen by the people who were already interested in what we were offering. So we studied how we could create adverts that would be seen by people who love essential oils, who were interested in holistic health, people who were into doing yoga, people who were Reiki healers, aromatherapists, reflexologists, okay? People who already, you know, had a synergy with what it was that we were offering. So we learned how to create this advertising. We ran our adverts, okay? We fine-tuned, we put lots of money into it, you know, to be able to fine-tune it, to quickly find out where we needed to make things better, okay? And now, you know, we can run adverts and I can spend like £3 a day, you know, and I can get like 20 inquiries of people that are perfectly aligned with our opportunity. So every single day, I actually speak with lovely, lovely people who often know more about essential oils than me, okay? So that's how we decided that we were going to do it. Now, it's not just about developing a lead generation system, because then you have to have a system of being able to present the business. And then you have to have a system of then being able to integrate them into the team and then to be able to provide wellness consultations. So we looked at everything that needed to be done, and we sat down and we created all of these elements and we put it together. And I'm really, really excited because, you know, I can build a business anywhere that I want all over the world. For example, today, you know, I've had leads coming in from about 6 different countries, okay? And it's a case of, where do I want to build in the world? Okay, and it is literally as exciting as that. But one of the things that we do is we want to find people, who want to also work with essential oils to be able to build a business. So, you know, I'm a firm believer in, if you know what you want, ask for what you want. Well, I want some people who want to be able to work with essential oils, who want to be able to develop an income. Well, why don't we look for people like that then? So that's what we've done. So we've probably got a higher percentage of builders within our organization than probably what is classed as typical. And one of the things that we do is we identify, you know, what it is that they want. Please don't make any preconceptions that we bring people in and we're all about the money. We absolutely are not. We're all about identifying what their priorities are. So we actually sit down with them and say, please tell us what's important to you. What would you like to be able to get from doTERRA? Okay, and we sit down and we actually make a note of what those things are. And only once we identify what their priorities are we then ready to help to serve them, because it's based on their needs and not ours. And we want to serve them to help them to get what they want, because that's what's important to them. Now, if that's about identifying an income level, then we will help them to understand what is required for them to be able to achieve that particular income level, okay? So that's kind of where we come from. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love doing is being able to reach out and inspire people to believe in better by believing in themselves. Okay, so...
You're very good at that.
Thank you, Nathan. And you know, that hasn't come, you know, just in the last, you know, 12 months. It's been something that I've been honing and refining, you know, for many, many years. And when you get good at being able to find out what people want, and then you get good at being able to help them to put into place a step-by-step strategy, okay, and then you work with them and track with them and celebrate their success with them, what happens is it builds something inside, it builds a belief. It's like you've cast this vision of what's possible, okay, and they've caught it. Okay, so people buy into people, and then they realize that, you know, if they can achieve this with our encouragement and continued guidance, they can achieve that, okay? And that's what we do. So we help to build a belief in people so that they can, you know, continue to make progress so that they can get what they want. Now, one of the greatest discoveries for me, you know, other than joining doTERRA, because we saw this incredible company, but I knew nothing about essential oils and I knew nothing about the health and wellness industry. So like Rebecca, I've become a sponge for knowledge. And the more knowledge that I've been able to gather, the more excited I actually get. For example, you know, I know that over 60% of the deaths last year were as a result of what's called non-communicable diseases. And non-communicable diseases are non-contagious, okay? And examples of non-communicable diseases is cancer, okay? It's osteoporosis, it's diabetes, okay? It's kidney disease, it's cardiovascular disease. And what we've come to realize with the education is that we realize that the reason why more people today are suffering from chronic disease and serious illness, okay, is because of our lifestyle behaviors, going back to the doTERRA pyramid, okay? So it's all about our lifestyle behaviors. And as a result of these lifestyle behaviors, what's happening is we are weakening our immune system, which is what increases our risk, okay? So all of a sudden, we now realize that the greatest gift, you know, that we've got in our hands is to be able to offer people the opportunity to become more aware of this so that they can take control of their health naturally, so they can make some adjustments, and our products can help and support people in those adjustments, and they have an opportunity to be able to help to reduce risk and increase the probability that they will live healthier for longer. Now, for me, that's like the greatest discovery, you know, because I actually thought that it was all to do with our genetics. Now, genetics does play a part in our health, but it is not the biggest part of the controlling factor that determines the outcome of the way that we live. Like, you know, we've studied, you know, the books, for example, you know, Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep, and he talks about if you don't get enough restful sleep, you know, and you enter into that level that the body needs to be able to repair itself. And if you're not getting 6 to 7 hours worth of restful sleep on a consistent basis, it demolishes the immune system. Then there's a book called The Blue Zones, which recognizes commonalities of people who live all over the globe, who live longer, who live fitter, healthier lives, okay? So we've suddenly become, from the outside and know nothing about health and wellness and nothing about essential oils, we become so passionate about our discovery. Now, can you imagine when we do a class?
Yeah.
The passion.
Yes.
We have to be careful, of course, that we don't, you know, become uncompliant. You know, but we work as diligent as we can to make sure that we don't make outlandish claims, because we know how important that is. But we're so passionate about that. So you can imagine how we feel when we're talking about the opportunity to embrace preventative healthcare. So in the hell of a nut, because I could talk for ages on that.
We do need to stop you in a second.
I was just going to say, it's the passion of knowing what we have in the palm of our hands. Yeah. It's being able to know that we have the technology to be able to reach out further and faster. And of course, we have this amazing company called doTERRA, you know, which supports us in all that we do. And I want to finish on this one point. We've just had the most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And it was the first time in so many years. And I honestly believe it was simply because of what we hold in our heart, okay, in terms of how we feel about the journey that we're on with doTERRA, and the hope and the potential and the possibilities for us and all of our family in 2019. And that for me is a great gift that we've been able to receive. Anyway, that's me. Thank you.
Peter, thank you. It's so clear how your passion.
Successful. Thank you so much. Honestly, we're going to have Peter come on and do another training in the future, because, you know, we respect, you know,
You've got a lot to say.
He's got a lot. And it hasn't, like you said, it hasn't.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that, Peter.
But it hasn't happened.
You've got a lot.
He's got a lot to give. A lot to give.
Yeah, just give me 2 hours, I'll be fine.
Thanks so much, Peter.
Thank you. God bless.
But also, you know, what Peter's saying there, that's you know, so many great tools there that we can all implement. Realise again, don't be doubting yourself. Don't be thinking I can't do that because you haven't had the years of experience that Peter has. Take, you know, the key things there that he summarised at the end was brilliant. You know, so it's the passion, having that clear belief and the clear vision of where you want to go, and then getting the structure in place. Then you feel confident you can lead someone on the path, and listening to people rather than telling people what you want them to do. That's a key part when you bring people on, is listen to people. So thank you, Peter.
Really good
amazing
point.
All right,
Thanks,
so now we're going to ask Louise Wade if she's on. I think she was. So just if Louise is on, just to share.
I don't mind going last because I know that Lindsay and Emily are on here, aren't they?
Okay, are you okay going last? Yes. So shall we ask?
Yeah,
and Emily and Tim. Yes, because you might need to go, and then we'll have Linz. If that's all right, Lindsay and Daniel, and then Louise. Perfect. So Ems and Tim. Lovely. Actually, first, let me just introduce Emily and Tim, even though I think you all know them. But Emily and Tim are wonderful friends, incredible blue diamonds, very solid blue diamonds, working with them in this business, and they are very inspiring leaders, and they're going to share some.
They're also UK
thoughts.
founders.
And the UK founders. Thank you. Yes. Emily.
Thanks, guys. Tim is here too, but he's like sat over there doing tax.
Oh no! Does that excite you? Is that one of the exciting activities?
That's fun at this time of year. Mind you, we've always had to do it because we're theatre people. We've always had to do our taxes, and we're often not organised with it and leave it till the last minute. So there you go. But that kind of leads me on to my point, everybody.
You've got 16 days.
Huh?
You've got 16 days.
Yeah, exactly. We've got loads of time.
We're
prepared. We're prepared.
Not even looked at mine.
Our accountant loves us. So, firstly, thank you, Lou. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much for letting us speak. I won't take too long, but it's lovely to be here and see some gorgeous faces and listen to you guys as well. Peter and Vanessa, amazing to hear you speak. So my point is, this leads me very nicely into something that I think is really, really important in this business, and that is start with you. And that any of you who heard my presentation in Milton Keynes or in Portugal, do you?
You do you. If you didn't hear Emily. She's gone.
You can interpret.
She's about to say, you do you. Again. She's about to start singing, actually.
Oh, that was good. Singing was good.
It was very good singing. We'll just wait a few seconds. If not, we might have to... Ems? Hello?
Oh, her router's dropped.
Okay. Lindsay and Daniel, you might move on. She'll come back in a sec.
we will happily leave place for Emily when she comes back on.
You look lovely, Lindsay. Nice to see Daniel. You look nice.
Just to introduce Lindsay and Daniel.
Yeah.
Lindsay and Daniel are Presidential Diamonds.
Meeting.
Lindsay and Daniel Diamonds.
We're allowed to.
I don't think we can say that one yet.
Okay. But very exciting. Yeah, very, very good. And moving onwards and upwards.
You just put me off with that comment.
Amazing diamonds.
Yes.
Thank you.
And beautiful.
Randoms. We met at a fair. We don't know each other very well.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting to know them. Okay.
So I think.
So share us what your weaknesses are, guys.
Oh, weaknesses. Oh, do you want to start with weaknesses?
No, we're putting them in the
We
middle.
have them. So I think the first thing that we started off by doing, so just to give you a tiny bit of context, so I started doing this on my own, as usually happens. This was my hobby as far as Daniel was concerned. This was my free time that I was choosing to spend doing doTERRA. And like to tell me that.
It's very kind of him. Very kind of you, Daniel.
It was very kind, so kind. Said, off you go. You can go and spend your free time teaching classes. So it was very much focused on what I could do to help people. We were looking for supplementing our income. So we went, I love your focus. I love your drive. I wasn't quite there when I started. I also had a newborn baby, and along with some health problems along with that baby. So it was definitely a different scenario. But things changed quite a lot over the course of our journey. And so we started, one of the common threads is that it was always about helping people, and actually particularly helping mums, a little bit biased here, but particularly about giving tools, putting these things in mum's hands, because I think that the power that a mum has over a family and over, the bigger society is huge. And so I loved doing that. It was definitely about that for me. So I just talked to everyone. And usually by talking to everyone, I've always been quite chatty anyway. Well, first of all, I dragged my sister into it, who's super chatty, even chattier than me. So along we went together talking to everyone. And so that was definitely one of the ways that we did this. We found people by just chatting and meeting people. We just moved into the area, so I didn't really know anyone within the local area. So I just got out and about and just met people. So then from there we were sampling and doing all the kind of normal things. So it was very much face to face, similar to Becky and Nathan. I definitely winged it for quite a while until Daniel came and joined and started putting in structures and reinventing the wheel, which we're going to come back to in a minute. And trying to refine the whole process to be much more streamlined and much better. So one of the things that we've seen, and it's funny because we see it over and over, is that we duplicate whatever we do duplicates to our teams, and which we've definitely duplicated loads of the things that Becky and Nathan have done. Hopefully we've duplicated the heart that they have as well. So I hope that that's something that we've duplicated along with some of the other quirks as well. But I think the biggest part that we have, we're not heavy enrollers, so we don't get a class and enroll 20 people in one class. That's never really been the case. So it means that we enroll through education and then education and education and education. And so it might mean that people come to a class and then they come to a make and take, and then they come and make chocolate, and then they're seeing the vision, or they just come over for a play day and the diffuser's going, and I don't have anything but water because I always forget to get any drinks in. So would you like water or water with the wheels? What would you like? And so that happens, and then they start. And so that's been definitely one of the biggest processes for us. It's been happening quite naturally. And I hate it when we hear people just saying that it just happens. It didn't just happen. There was definitely effort, but that's been a lot of our natural circle of like oils moving around us has been through just living the oils for ourselves. And then we then go to finding more people, because of course we have to move outside of our market, of our warm market, a warm network.
So we do events. We literally just send emails to people to say, oh, could we do a doTERRA table there? 9 times out of 10, they say there's already someone there from doTERRA. So what I normally say is, well, if they don't want to do it next time, can you send me an email? And you'll be surprised how many times I get an email saying, oh, they don't want to do it again. Would you like to do it? Which is great. We've built some great relationships with some small fairs that have now become quite big. So that's really nice. So where instead of doing a massive fair where it might cost you £5,000 to go, we actually do ones where it's about £20 to £30, very local, and they grow. We've also started doing some online classes, more now, and a little bit, not to Peter's amazing extent. He is the Jedi Master. We are mere Padawans to Peter, but we're doing a little bit of Facebook targeting ads. I did get to spend an hour and a half actually with Peter, and that's something amazing about doTERRA is the culture, and I think that is one of the great things about it that makes you want to do it. Peter could talk for 2 hours, I agree with him 100%. You let me speak for about 5 minutes, didn't you? I think that was right, Peter. It's very good of you.
But actually, but the value was brilliant.
Yeah,
you were
so
warned at the beginning it was added value, which is true. So,
a couple mistakes.
Yeah. Some of the mistakes. So what you already mentioned, one of them is reinventing the wheel. Becky and Nathan said that they don't do things perfectly. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I started off by going, actually, I really would like this handout to look much better, so I'm going to make it look much better. And Becky
tidying up all our stuff, basically.
Pardon?
You tidied up all our stuff.
Yeah.
Which we are very appreciative of.
We repost it with our names on.
We repost it.
Roman is lazy. Don't stick with Times New Roman, drives me mad.
But that's one of the things that, although I did so much. There's a few of the things that are now used, and I know Becky and Nathan use like the tickets and some of the posters and things, but I did so much more than that, and it was not necessary. And so I would definitely say that using our time more valuable, being more focused, like Vanessa said about when she had no time, she had to be focused. I think that's a really, really good lesson, is that just make that time count. But there's some really good kind of guidelines as to how to best use your time, and that's been really helpful. Getting contacts. You want to do about that?
Well, I used to go to a fair, be so happy that I did a fair. I'd come through the door triumphant. I'd just done a fair, registered loads of people, and then I'd never call them because I was like, job's done. So I wouldn't follow up, and that was probably one of my weaknesses. So certainly they say the fortune's in the follow-up. It is so true. So
Definitely.
getting yourself to do that.
And then I think, and Becky and I have talked about this, I don't know how long, self-sabotage is something I do quite well. And this is one of the things I'm working on, is to not do it so much. But just believing in yourself and believing that you have the capacity to
to cry.
You can do it, Lynn. You can do it.
To influence for good around you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sorry. And I think if we lead with the oils, then that happens really, really naturally. And I think that if we are doing it for ourselves and kind of dealing with the issues that we have, physically or emotionally or whatever it might be, then that comes through and people see it. And there's been a few people around me that's been amazing that people have noticed actually that they are happier and that they're more upbeat and that they're more more there, more present. And I love those kind of things. So that's probably my favorite thing about all of this, is hearing the impact of the little things that I've done, little me who's just talking about oils and, sometimes bouncing my baby through a class and thinking I have no idea if they actually know what I'm talking about. Actually, the impact of what we're doing is incredible. And I think that's just makes it all really, really worthwhile. It sounds so cheesy, but it really does. And I think that then you flip side as well to the impact that it's had for us and on our family. That reminds me, I don't know if it's every day because I don't remember it every day, but every now and then I get little glimpses of what things used to be like and now what they are now. And that's thanks to someone going and teaching an oils class and following up and doing all the things that we need to do, physically or online or whatever your thing is, but just doing those things that will allow you to put oils in people's hands and in people's homes. So that's probably what I would say.
Amazing.
I've got one question for you.
Thank you.
Have you guys ever lost momentum?
No. Yeah, so that's, yeah, go on then.
It takes a lot of effort to hit rank. And for us, I think the biggest effort was hitting diamond for the first time. We literally could have taken 6 months off after that. That was a lot of work. But we did. We felt we'd hit diamond. And actually, we found that some of our team members were so motivated. They really wanted to go. And we were kind of like, we're knackered. Actually, it was quite counterproductive. So if you want more rest, actually keep the momentum going. And that is one of the biggest things we've learned now, is just certainly keeping that momentum. You will have peaks. Like last month, we were so blessed to, it was the month before, 2 people on our team, Catherine and April and Jonathan, I won't leave you out, hit gold. And that was just amazing. And that for me is probably the best thing, is seeing other people hit ranks. It's so amazing. It's such an amazing feeling, because you see the journey they go through. And that's just been my most exciting thing, certainly in doTERRA, is seeing people grow and develop. It's just been amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for such amazing tips and wisdom. And you've really lived it, and it's really real. You know, it's not easy, but you guys have done it, and you're doing it, and you're showing how that. Just be consistent. Just keep putting yourself out there. You know, it's brilliant. We love you. Thank you. Emily is back. I've seen Emily, and she's moving. She hasn't frozen.
Yeah, Ems.
So let's get her. Ems.
I think that was a really good start, though, because I was just, emphasising and exaggerating that you just have to do it your way. And as you guys know, me and technology, we've not always been best friends. I wish I could say I was as good as Peter, but, we've had our challenges. We've fallen out a few times, me and technology. But we do it.
Keep going.
Rebecca falls out of technology as well.
So my point is, you do you, and you do you unnegotiably, okay? And this is what I spoke about in Milton Keynes and in Portugal, because many of you might have done your Strengths Finder here, but it's so important to realise and to remember that we are all unique and beautiful and skilled and talented. And we all have our own skills and our own weaknesses, but we are all on our own individual journey. And it's an amazing path. And you will learn so much and you will grow so much, but you can't compare yourselves or your journey to other people's journey, because when you compare, it's just a really easy way to dull your own brightness. And it distracts you from your most important focus, which needs to be what you are doing. So you need to focus on shining your own light and being your own lighthouse, and shine it loud and shine it proud. You need to tap in to your own greatness, not the greatness of others. So it's great to be inspired and motivated and take tips from other people, but other people are going to do it differently from the way that you're going to do it. So learn from them, be the sponge, absorb it, but make it your own. Step into your own role and into your own performance. Sorry to bring the theatre into that, but it's so true. You need to listen in firstly to your heart, and listen to what is whispering inside you, the whispers of your own soul and your own being. Listen first and think about, why are you here in the first place? What makes you excited about the work that you are doing? What ignites your flame? What makes you passionate? For me, I know I would be doing this work even if I wasn't paid for it. I love it so much. And that is my message. And that is, I'm loud and I'm proud about that. But what's on your heart? Okay, so what's your story and what's your script? Listen in, tune in, and then speak it. For me, the thing that led me to doTERRA was because I was a mum who wanted to look after my children in the safest and most natural way that I truly, truly believed in. And so when I found the oils, it was like I came home. And then when we started to see the results that we were having in our homes and how much of a blessing these oils are to our lives, I couldn't help but share it. And that was my mission, is to get that message out and to share the blessings of these little bottles of magic with as many other mothers as possible, to bless their lives and do it sharing something that I'm hugely passionate about. But what's your mission? Because if you tap into that and you listen into that, whatever it might be, because it might be totally different from mine, and you allow your voice to share it with the world and sing your own song, then that is going to be the right thing for you. That's going to be your way. And that's going to be your journey, and the right journey. So don't be afraid to blaze your own trail with whatever walking boots fit you and feel good. So let's talk about procrastination and excuses, which we know, those of you that have read personal development books. And for me, actually, when I started doTERRA, I was anti personal development books, because I suppose, I don't know what it was, but I hadn't needed them in my life.
There's little value in them, isn't there?
Huh?
Little value in them.
Little value, yeah. But so I was almost stubborn about, oh, I don't need those. What are they all about? They're going to brainwash me, and and so it took me a long time to pick them up. But I realised that because we are all so uniquely different, that perhaps I didn't need them so much in the initial stages, but our team perhaps did, because they had their own fears and their own blocks and their own excuses. And it's so easy to find reasons not to get started, or reasons to hold you back in this business. And it will block your path, it will block your journey. So, one of the things is the procrastination, and the over planning, or the need to feel that we have to structure everything, get everything perfect before we can begin. So I guess maybe a little bit like what Lindsay was talking about, and feeling like we have to make all these things and make them look perfect. And that's really nice. I suppose if you enjoy it as well, that's your thing. And so I think that's lovely. But I suppose because I was never that blessed in creating kind of things with computers or visually. If I had have waited for that moment, or waited to be ready to do that, I never would have got started. So my answer to those things, because there's always going to be something that you're not perfect at in this business, you're going to have your skills and your weaknesses, is just jump in. Hashtag, just start. Don't expect the perfection. Because actually what really inspires people is real, because they can connect with that and they can associate with real as opposed to perfection. And what is perfect anyway? I'm a big believer in being imperfectly perfect. And with this business, this is a business where you just learn as you go. You can't possibly know it all to begin with. There's too much to learn. And that's the beauty of the journey as well. So you just have to be open to learning as you go, and crossing each bridge as you come to it, and each hurdle as you get to it, and just feeling your way. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is belief, because this is a massive one. And I think that there are two main beliefs that we need to have. And that is belief in your message. So what I spoke about before, what's on your heart, what this means to you, what excites you about the work that you're doing. That's your one belief. So belief in the product, belief in the oils, because we know they're incredible. We know they're amazing. We know they're magic. That's the first belief. But then the second belief has got to be belief in yourself. And that one's a bit more tricky sometimes, right? So you need to find the belief in yourself. And you need to tune in to your own greatness, as I spoke about before. Tune into what are your values and be authentic. And just, as I said, be prepared to share you, the real you, the imperfect you, just you. You are it, and you are enough. And you have to know that each and every single one of you on this call, you're all amazing. You're all perfect. You're all designed perfectly, and you have everything you need to do this business. No excuses, no procrastinations. You all have everything that you need. You have everything that you ever have needed, and you have everything that you will need moving forward and into the future. In fact, the potential that you have is limitless. And I even got out my bottle of Limitless oil, which was the 10-year anniversary oil. And I had that in my diffuser today to remind me, because sometimes we all need reminders, right? And I've had it on just before this call, and it's on my heart, and it's on my mind, and it's on my third eye. And we just need to remember that. We just need to tune into our own incredible potential. So once you begin to love and accept yourself, by doing that and stepping into that role and into yourself, you then totally give others permission to do the same, because that's so inspiring for them. And once you get to that place, you'll find your tribe, because they will come to you. And this is a business that's about relationships. It's not about just doing this all by ourselves. It's about doing it collectively with your people. So step into your own place, find yourself, and don't be afraid to share yourself, and your people will come to you. And then you can hold hands and do this together. And that's what's beautiful about the work that we do, about the fact that we hold hands with amazing people, and we walk this walk together. So another thing that I wanted to mention, because I'm actually training as a health coach at the moment. I absolutely love it. And I feel like I've almost kind of gone full circle, because for me, health and wellness is what brought me to doTERRA in the first place, because I had a love of living the best life that I could live as a mother, so I could do the same for my children. That, again, that was my mission. And so what I'm learning about now ties in really, really beautifully with doTERRA, and I think it will be a beautiful complement to the work that I do. Also, I just love it, and I love what I'm learning. But one of the core principles, or one of the things that is spoken about that I think is brilliant, is about these days we're obsessed with fitting in, aren't we, and being accepted in society. But guys, it's actually really okay to fit out, and that's fine, because if you believe in it, then maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Be prepared to fit out. You don't always have to fit in if that's not what's true to you and to your heart. And if you're going to fit out, take ownership for it. Own it, okay? It's a must. And another must, and this is a really big must as well, is you must be prepared to take action. You must be prepared to do the work and be consistent. You have to wake up every day and say yes to this. And there will be days that you don't feel like it, and there'll be days where you're knackered and you feel a bit low, or for whatever reason. But it's that consistency that will keep you moving in the direction of your dreams. You have to be prepared to get uncomfortable at times. And one of the things that I think is really important, especially at this time of the year, when it's January and we've all set our intentions and our goals for the years ahead. And, you know, Bex will tell you I wasn't someone for goals in the beginning either, to be honest. Well, I did. I had secret goals in my mind and in my heart, but I just didn't want to share them.
Like I'm not going to do the business.
Not much that. I don't think I said that. No. But I think I said, how much time do you have? None. But that was true. I didn't have any time. But it's amazing how you make time for what's important to you. But one of the things that I actually still think is really important is goals are great, intentions are great, but you cannot underestimate the importance of the action. Okay, so intention is something that stands before but never takes the place of the action. We can dream and we can become daydreamers and we can fall in love with fairy tales, but if we're not prepared to actually do the action to make them happen, they're only ever going to be a daydream or a fairy tale. You have to do the work. It's simple. To make a success of anything in life, it's not just going to fall into your lap. You have to do the work. And you can do the work at the pace that you want, depending on where you want to be and at what stage, that's totally up to you. But don't be that person that complains about the results that you didn't get from the work that you didn't do, because no one is going to do this for you. It's your responsibility, and that's what makes it perfect, and that's what makes the growth so exciting in you. And it is a program of personal development wrapped up in a business. It totally is, and that makes it even more magical. So we worked really hard. We did work really hard, and we're still working really hard. And as a family, we've made sacrifices, and we're still making sacrifices. But are they worth it? Oh my goodness, they are so worth it. I get to spend every evening with Tim, with my husband, who was working every night. I didn't get to see him, and he worked all day Saturdays, all day Thursdays. Our lives were totally unreliable. We struggled to pay our bills, and we didn't have that much family time together. Our lives are so different now, and we get so much more time with our children. We get to go on lovely family holidays with our friends and live a life that is on purpose, but is that on our terms. So those sacrifices and that hard work, you have to realize it's worth it. It is totally 100% worth it, and I would do it again. So think every day, when you wake up every day, think, what is the one thing that I can do today to build momentum to move my business forward? Because there is always something that you can do every day, and that will get that snowball rolling. And know that you are always moving forwards, even though sometimes you'll probably feel that you're going in reverse. Know that you are always going in the right direction. Just find the learning. Find where the learning is through all the seasons. And try to see the positive and the learning in the situations. Because you can focus on the positive and you can focus on the negative. But we know, you guys, we all know, don't we, that what we put our energy and our attention on, that will be the thing that grows. So if you put your energy and your attention on the positive, then that will be what grows. And we all want to live a positive, happy life, right? So those are my key things. You do you in your own beautiful, authentic, real, imperfectly perfect way. Love yourself first. Believe in yourself. Love yourself to make it happen. And once you love on yourself and believe in yourself and know that you totally deserve to achieve your dreams, you will realize that you deserve to take yourself seriously. You deserve to take this seriously. And then at that stage, you have even more capacity and even more freedom to be able to love on other people even more, and to be able to live your purpose doing the things that are important to you. So I'm just going to finish with my 5 C's in doTERRA, because I know we've all heard about the different C's, but I think, and I've kind of gone full circle on this, but I've come back to my 5 C's and they're slightly different. So my 5 C's are to do with love. And the first one is connection, community, compassion, collaboration, and courage. And those are my 5 C's. And that's it.
Thank you very much,
Emily. So inspiring as always, and it's so lovely to have you on our team call. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Emily. We miss you. I mean, I know we see you, but we still miss you on our team call. So it's so lovely having you. Thank you.
Well, you guys, this is where it all started with you, and we're hugely grateful for for everything that you've brought into our lives and for this whole community. And I'm very, very grateful for doTERRA.
Thanks,
Thanks,
thank you. Okay, so Louise was going to share a few minutes. So kind to leave
So
us at the end.
say the best till last.
You did, yeah.
It's so late.
Got Lou?
Sorry, Louise.
Everyone's going to bed.
Everyone's holding on to listen to you, Lou. So,
you didn't give me much time to prepare.
Yeah.
So,
well, you just had an hour and a half.
My message is I'm all about the money, sadly.
Well, we know that that's not true.
It's all about me.
So I just want to say something about that, Lou, to just so that people don't actually think that. Because Lou is actually, I've known Lou a long time.
One of the most selfless people we know.
One of the most selfless, caring, kindest, someone that is the exact opposite of about money that you can get.
And she's also been building this business. You know, she got married, she's had a child, you know, taken on more children, so her husband's children as well. So there's been a lot of life happening, and you've built it on your own pretty much with the support of your husband. But now he's been working, so there's probably quite a few people out there like you.
Louise also used to work at Great Ormond Street Hospital, helping there and teaching there. And how long were you there for, Lou? A long time.
12 years. Can we just get to bed? You don't need to do that.
Nah, you get your thing, Lou.
There's a lot of waffle sometimes, I feel. I'll just keep it short and sweet, really. I love the phrase, don't sit and stew, just go and do. And I think with this kind of work, it's so easy just to sit and complain and moan and make comparisons. But I find just get up and do the work, and that's how you learn the best. You learn your skills, you gain your confidence, and you grow and boost the best. So just a couple of thoughts that I had. Some of my weaknesses, I could go on and on, but nothing has come easy with doing this network marketing business. When I started, I had no idea of how to run a business, no idea about network marketing, no ICT skills, you know, nothing. I just sat in a class with Becky Bowles and just loved what I was hearing and wanted to get involved. And I didn't actually start properly until I did get married and felt pregnant, was ill, and moved away from my support, my friends, my family. So it's a really hard time. So this business could easily make you feel rubbish. And what I want to really share is that there's times and seasons in our lives. So you might think, I've got no time to the business, or things are really difficult in some aspect of your life, but there are times and seasons, so things might be easier. And so what I've learned to do, I was such a capable single woman. I was at the prime of my life, and when I got married and had 3 stepchildren and a child, I just felt so limited in my capabilities. And I don't mean that to sound awful, but I just couldn't do what I wanted to do with the business. And I had to manage my situation very carefully. And so it's easy to start blaming things. So you have to turn it into a positive. So I then felt that actually I could then help and empathize with mothers. So that became my passion, my why, is to share the oils with mothers. And I got to meet mothers. So that was a real blessing. I then learned to do more online and use the amazing internet to meet people and to educate people. I became super organized with my time. You have to. And I think especially as mums, we burn out so quickly, and the last person we think of is ourselves. So I've turned that into a strength and really focused on self-care. So I'm really trying to push this with my team at the minute. Self-care, for me, actually is the most important thing that you can do at the start of the day. Because if you're running on empty, you've got nothing to give, and you're not a good example of a doTERRA lifestyle. And also it's having to empathize with my team, because life happens, isn't it? And some of my team got through some really tragic experiences, and it's helped me not to be so harsh and judgmental, but more supportive and kind and patient. So always use whatever situation you're in to its advantage. I feel one of my weaknesses, whenever I go to shows, whatever they are, I hate being stopped by people. I just like my own boundaries. So when I was asked to do shows, it was just my worst nightmare to stop people and start trying to sell them something. It felt like, but I find whenever I feel I'm too salesy or I'm finding something difficult, I then have to fall back in love with the oils, and I do use them a lot, and I just am amazed by how fantastic they are. So when I fall in love with them again, it's just easier to share them and speak about them and do shows. So I think my two main things are use the oils all the time, fall in love with them over and over again, and really focus on self-care. Find people that you really resonate with. So at the minute, I really am a big fan of Lisa Zimmer. I would recommend looking at her Facebook page. It's just reignited a love for sharing the oils, and the way that she supports her customers as well. I love a Canadian called Whole Fit. I love her ethos about creating your own beautiful life. And Keely Mendenez, I think she's the Essentially Obsessed lady. Again, I love following her. One of my great strengths is planning. As a teacher, I always loved planning, and I found it so hard when I started doTERRA because there weren't really any plans. So I love how I've evolved as a person, as a leader, how I've wanted to run my business. So now I do monthly topics. So all my classes are around that topic. My webinar to support my customers are on that topic. All my social media posts around that topic. So it's all about lifestyle attributes that we can help our customers with. And I love planning. Really enjoy it. One thing I would also say is be clear on what you want to do. So this is my business plan. That is it. It's on one sheet of paper for each week. So I know exactly what I'm doing. So one thing I really had to do is simplify everything to work with my lifestyle. And the last thing I want to share is get used to failing. It's almost a daily part of the business. And what I would link it with is my dating experience. So I was 40 when I got married, and I dated many amazing guys, but they just weren't right. And your heart can get broken, or you get knocks and drawbacks and things. And it's just like sharing doTERRA. You think everyone should accept it and love it like you do, but they don't. But then you're going to find those gems. Like my husband, I couldn't have even created a better guy. He just is amazing. So for me, that's what makes doTERRA worthwhile. You're going to get lots of setbacks, a lot of people that say no. But I think another thing that I'm good at is not expecting people to enroll at the first class, but just to build relationships, and nurture them, and people do come back and end up buying, or they want you to host a class for them, or they actually recommend friends to you. That's how I'm actually building the most at the minute. So so relationships, the self-care, relationships, and getting off your bum, basically. So that's me.
Thank you so much, and sorry for keeping you up as well.
I know, I'm really tired now.
You're amazing. Thank you. So inspiring as always as well, and really grounding, and it's so true. Self-care, so important. Thank you so much, Lou.
The analogy was exceptional.
What was exceptional?
The analogy.
All right, abandoning.
Very, very good. And Louise definitely does all the things that I don't do very well, so it's a great partnership. She's very, very good at planning and organising. So thank you. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Sorry, it was a very long call, but from what snippets again.
It's only once a month now.
And it's a feast. It's a feast. They won't be as long as this, but it's beginning of the year, and I feel like we've had a feast of tips and advice, and it's been, I've loved it. I've loved every minute. So thank you, and enjoy January, and we'll see you in Feb. And if you do have questions for us and everything, Silver Blossom is the place to put it. And if you want it, specific answers from me or Rebecca, well, Beck's probably tag us. Tag me 10 times. Rebecca might take like 3 weeks, but get it. All right. Thanks, guys, and thanks so much for everyone who got involved tonight. Louise Platinum, someone's asked what rank. Oh, yeah. I thought I said that, sorry. No, you did. I just reminded. Perfect, yeah. Thanks, everybody. Good evening, God bless. See you guys. Good night. Thanks, Peter. Thanks so much. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks, Lindsay and Daniel. Thanks, Emily. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
you. Good night. Go to bed.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Good night, Amber. Good night, everybody.